What's up, YouTube? This is Bystander X79 coming to you with today's deck profile. That's right out of the gate for the new May 2018 format, which goes into effect on Monday. I am doing True Dracos. Alright, now, if you looked at the ban list, Masterpiece was banned, but we got a lot of stuff back. And I can tell you this right now, even with Masterpiece gone, the deck is still viable, and it's opened a door for a brand new boss monster for True Dracos to use. Alright? You guys seen this in action plenty of times. I'm going to get right into it. Okay. First on the hit list, we have 3 copies of Amano-Iwato. Alright, Amano-Iwato is a rock spirit monster. When it hits the field, your opponent cannot activate any monster effects that aren't spirit type monsters, which is very cool and awesome. It basically blocks your opponent from hand trapping you, so no Ash Blossom, no Drone Lock, not even Ghost Soaker can do anything while this card's up. Primary reason why I run this card at 3 is you want to see it in your opening, in your hands, as much as possible, and you're also going to want to be using it as tribute fodder for your new boss monster. Of course, you saw this when I was doing my intro. Dinomight Knight, the True Draco combatant, or yeah, the True Draco warrior, excuse me. Back from the ban list. He's now at 1. Basically, with this guy here in the deck, yeah, anytime your opponent activates an effect, you can search or activate a trap card right from a True Draco trap card right from your deck. Awesome. And with diagram up, he goes up to 2,800 attack points, which is pretty cool. Next, I run 3 copies of Ingis Heat, the True Draco warrior. Now, this is the guy I've been actually waiting for to come off the list in multiples because he's kind of the linchpin for this deck strategy. While he's in the field, if your opponent activates an effect, you search or activate a True Draco spell card from there. Awesome. All the True Draco spells give you extra normal summons. They do a lot of things. We'll talk about them when we get to those cards. The other reason is because of his battle sets. 2,400 attack, 1,000 defense. And I can tell you this right now. Can't wait to show you the tech engine I actually threw into this deck. And last but not least, the new boss monster that takes the place of Masterpiece, Metaltron 12, the True Draco combatant. Alright, he's got 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense. When this card that's tribute summoned is destroyed by battle or card effect, and I'm going to tell you right now, that second part is going to be very hard to do. You can actually special summon from your extra deck's Fusion, Synchro, or Xyz monster that is Earth, Wind, Fire, or Water or Tribute. Alright? Now this guy does take three tributes to bring out, so he takes a bit more of a setup, but even with that, I've actually gotten this guy out turn 1 with and without diagram on the field, so it is possible to do. Other thing I want to turn around and talk about, yeah, this guy has 3 tributes, but he also has the same immunity gaining effect as Masterpiece. That's right, 3 tributes and the same immunity gaining effect as Masterpiece. For those who are still trying to scratch your head, what does it mean? That basically means you could potentially make this guy immune to everything. Monster effects, spell effects, trap effects. Yeah. Guys, everybody who was complaining about Masterpiece being hard to get over with his immunity effect, those people were completely and totally wrong because they only dealt with what was in front of them and they didn't do any research into the archetype. Because if they did, they would have seen this card existed and they would have been saying, oh no, diagram needs to be banned. Diagram's not banned. And here is Metaltron 12. So yeah, 3 tributes, make them immune to everything, and then your opponent's just going to be pissed. That's it for the monsters. On to the spells, and this deck has plenty of spells to run with. And of course, we're going to start off with Card of Demise. So draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. Can't really do any battle damage. You have to wait to main phase 2 to really use this card. And you can't special summon the same turn you use this card. This deck doesn't really special summon as much, so you don't have to really worry about this card that much. And with a low 9-card monster count, you're not going to have to worry about discarding monsters anyway. And even if you do, you can bring them back easy. Alright. I also run 3 copies of this episode of the True Draco. Now, the True Draco spell cards both have 2 of the similar effects. They both give you an extra tribute summon per turn. And whenever they leave the field, they destroy a spell and trap card on the field. Now, Disciples allows you to target 3 True Draco cards in your graveyard, recycle them back into your deck, and then draw a card. So you have your little recursion and some draw power right there. And of course, running True Dracos, you gotta run 3 copies of Dracon Diagram. Pop a card on the field or in your hand, search a True Draco monster spell or trap that you need. It's a single card engine. It makes a lot of decks go. And with it being around, hey, those decks are going to be still problematic. Now, I also run 2 copies of March of the Monarchs. Now, March of the Monarchs is a pretty awesome card because what it does, it protects your tribute summon monsters from being targeted or destroyed by card effects. No targeting, no destruction. Yeah, makes it hard for your monsters to be getting over. Of course, I also run 1 copy of Pantheism of the Monarchs. Helps thin out your hand, especially if you get a lot of Monarch cards in there. Pitch it, draw 2, and from the graveyard you can actually just banish it and select 3 cards from your main deck, Monarch spells or traps from your deck. Opponent selects 1 to add to your hand, others are shuffled back in. Okay. We also run 3 Pot of Dualities, which allow you to dig into your deck 3 cards. Don't have to worry about special summoning that much with this, so it's perfect for the deck. With all those Monarch spells shown you, you're going to have to be running 3 copies of Tenacity and Monarch. Basically, you have to flash a monster with 2400 attack and 1000 defense. And that's what Ingis Heat is for. Flash him, search out any Monarch spell or trap card that's in this deck. You have Pantheism, you have March. There's a few more cards I'm going to show you. This actually makes the deck a little bit better and allows you to get to your tech cards a lot faster. Of course, with a card like Diagram, you got to be able to search it out. 3 copies of Terraforming. Alright, of course, Tribute Summon deck, you have to run Monarch Storm for a searchable off of Tenacity, but this card has to be in the deck regardless because you can use any of your opponent's monsters as tribute fodder for your summons. And then, of course, the last spell, True Draco Heritage. Basically, while this card's face up, any spell or any True Draco cards that are sent to the graveyard, you can draw based on the type. So if you send a spell, a trap, and a monster, you're going to draw 3 cards. If you send a spell and a trap from the field to the graveyard, you get to draw 2 cards. If it's just a spell, trap, or monster, one of those cards, you're just drawing 1. So this card gives you a little bit extra draw power into the deck. And being a continuous spell is also tribute fodder for the deck. So, that's it for the spells. On to the trap cards. First and foremost, the Monarchs Erupt. Again, searchable off of Tenacity, so you don't have to worry about seeing this. This is what we're running to. When the card goes face up and you have a tribute summon monster, your opponent's not activating any monster effects unless they're tribute summon monsters effects. Effectively a skill drain for the deck. And then, of course, you have 3 copies of True Draco Apocalypse. True Draco traps have 2 similar effects, basically. A quick effect that allows you to tribute summon during your opponent's turn. Awesome. And the other one, whenever it leaves the field, you pop a monster off the field. Now, True Draco Apocalypse allows you to tribute one of the other, or destroy one of the other True Draco cards you have in the field to basically half all your opponent's monsters' attack. Which is pretty awesome. And then, of course, you have True King Return, the one copy of that. This card goes face up on the field. You're allowed to turn around and cast, once during your opponent's turn, once during your turn, you're allowed to bring back a monster from your graveyard onto the field. Again, True Draco monster, and you can use it as tribute fodder for your other monsters. Alright, so that's it for the main deck. On to the extra deck. So I'm gonna do this by attributes here. An Earth Fusion monster, you can summon with Metaltron. Bubble Rider, the ultimate battle machine, can attack twice. Negates any monster effects that go to the graveyard. And hits your opponent for 1,000 extra points of damage for the monsters they send to the graveyard when they attack. It's 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense, makes it a perfect card to summon off of just to go from a hole out of the frying pan into the fire type of deal. That's the Earth Fusion monster. I'm going to show you the synchros here. Notoria Barkian, banish 2 cards from the graveyard, negated activation of trap. Great in the mirror match. And against any trap heavy decks. Of course, Notoria Beast. Send mill 2 cards from your deck to negate activation of spell. And of course, Landoids, which is actually very good in this deck because you basically discard a spell card from your hand to your graveyard to negate a monster effect. So, since this deck is pretty spell heavy, this card is perfect for the deck. Now, if you want another extra big Earth body, as a Synchro monster, you have Leo right there. Cool thing about Leo is that, yeah, your opponent can't really do anything to him until your main phase 2. So even evenly matched can't touch this guy. And then, of course, you have an Earth of 6 monster. I choose Super Dreadnought, Rail Cannon, Gust of Max, basically because it's 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense. It's a big body. Just to attack. I mean, that's pretty much what you can be doing. If you choose more X6 monsters, that's what you want to do. You want to choose the ones with the biggest bodies just to turn on and attack with. On to the fire ones. Fire Fusion monster, Invoke Purgatorio. Great to bring out when your opponent has a whole lot of monsters. Gains 200 attack points for every single card they control, which is awesome. And it can attack all your opponent's monsters during the battle phase, which is even better. Yeah, in fact, a lot of the invoked fusion monsters you can actually summon out off of Metaltron 12's effect because they don't require to be fusion summoned first. Alright, of course, special summon Black Rose Dragon, wipe the field. Alright, and then of course you have Odd Eyes Meteor Flare Dragon. Basically, while this guy's on the field, your opponent can't activate monster effects that they control. And of course, I also put in Crimson Blader, which Crimson Blader, when it destroys a monster and sends it to the graveyard, your opponent's not summoning anything level 5 or higher. Okay. On to the water. Invoked Cassitus, basically because you can't be targeted. Great defensive monster. Of course, Water Synchro, Brionic, discard cards from your hand, bounce shit off the field. I have Frozen Fitzgerald, which is actually a pretty cool card. Whenever it attacks, opponent cannot activate spell or trap card effects, which is pretty cool. And the thing is that you can actually also discard, I think, what was it? Yeah, discard a card and bring his card back from the grave. And of course you have White Aurora Dolphin. Cool thing about him, target a monster, cut the monster's attack in half, so it makes the problematic monster easy to go away. If it's ever sent to the graveyard, you could banish a Water Tribute monster from your graveyard to bring this back, and it's treated as a tuner. So you could potentially, with this being a level 6, you could potentially, and Amano-Iwato, you could potentially turn around and go into a synchro of Leo, actually. Alright, when you saw this in the buff bumper, I have the Crystal Link Synchro Dragon. Bring this guy out. Negate monster effects. And of course I also have Invoked Raijins just to flip things face down. And be a problem with everything. Okay. So that is it for my True Draco deck profile for the upcoming May 2018 format. Guys, if you like this video, thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, be alerted whenever I throw up new videos. And guys, I will be seeing you in the next video. Peace out.